Right, good morning and welcome to EFT Costa Blanca. And this morning I am speaking with Amanda Kerin. Kerin, sorry. Have I pronounced that right, Amanda?
Yes, yeah, you have, Kerin.
And Amanda is a coach who teaches people how to create the life that they want. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about that, Amanda?
Yeah, so basically I coach people to escape their 9-to-5 soul-sucking job, and it's usually to create a business they want to create, so working for themselves. So I actually work with quite a lot of mums because essentially I create freedom, flexibility and success all on their own terms. It's completely as they want it. So I help them create that with tools and exercises and weekly coaching calls. So yeah, and that's mainly because I think we get caught up in this world of existing in a corporate cage, and we're just on this treadmill watching every year, every month, even every week, and then you wake up and you find there is another way. And I'm not saying it's easy, but you can actually design the life you love. I'm living proof of that. There's plenty of other people doing it that are living proof of that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is that something you've gone through? That you have obviously gone through this process yourself. How, why?
How and why? Oh, those are two loaded
there, but it's
yeah. So why? And let's start with that. I think yes, I have gone through it myself. The reason why is because I was running along at 100 miles an hour all the time, no time for myself, no energy for myself. In my professional life, I was always tied with middle management responsibilities like most people, and then in my personal life I was trying to please everybody. I was just being a people pleaser, and I just found I wasn't living my own life, and I battled with the whole selfishness thing, the guilt, the saying no, leaving work on time I felt guilty about. It was just ridiculous, and letting colleagues down and things like that. So I sustained that for too long, and basically my body said no more. So I hit, I think they call it adrenal fatigue. It's like burnout. And I think it's a modern disease of the 21st century, to be totally honest. Right, and okay. I was off work for 6 weeks, and that leads on to the how. It all started from there.
So what were you doing before?
So the job I was doing before was in events. So I had been working on quite a grueling event schedule, touring an exhibition around the country. And then before that, I had worked in events for about 10 years. And before that, I was a radio producer. So I've always worked in live creative industries, which has been brilliant. And I've had really, really great jobs. But it did come at the cost of sacrificing my personal life.
Right, so it's fair to say that you've been a high achiever then.
Yeah. I've got, I had the award, I had the bonuses, I had the promotion, all of that. But that all comes at a price. Now I realise. I didn't at the time. And I don't think we don't stop and think about it at the time. We just swept along, and also other people's expectations of us, and the amount of pressure we put on ourselves. We just think that's the norm. Our society's beliefs, conditionings, all our teaching as we're growing up, all of that.
But that being an award-winning, being a high achiever, being in to everybody else, fantastic, glamorous job, that must have been really, really hard to walk away from.
Yeah, it was. In more ways than one. Like, I had a brilliant career in radio. I met some incredible people. I had experiences money couldn't buy, and events was fantastic. And I loved the work, and I loved the live environment. I do sort of thrive on live, and I just got to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore. Like, I just didn't have any more to give, and like my body just let me down physically.
Right.
And mentally, really. Like, I was on tablets for anxiety, and I was going to the doctor to say, I've got these symptoms, you know, I can't sleep, I've got insomnia, I'm anxious. And so she just gave me pills. Pills don't work, you know, they don't work. They just put a plaster on the problem. You need to get underneath the hood, really. You need to get under the hood and find out what's going on and why. And
okay, so you started looking into natural alternatives then as well.
Yeah, actually,
Was
the
that
first place
that came along afterwards?
it was an ever-revolving, and still is, process, really. It's like unlayering. It's like taking the layers off an onion, if I'm completely honest. Like, I started with mindfulness. I'd seen it and heard a lot about it, and I thought, okay, yeah, I'll try that. So I think I did a 6-week course once a week, and that really changed me. I started meditation, and then it unfolded, and I started journaling, like gratitude, believing in a higher power, finding obviously EFT, and then it's just, you know, you just keep uncovering more and more, and as you do more practice and more exercises and use more tools on yourself, you find out more about yourself, and that's where the real insight is. And that's where the real work begins.
So what was your insight? So people can actually, because I can imagine, you know, our viewers, there's a lot of viewers out there in the same boat. They're in, you know, really well-paid jobs. They've got the flexibility that they need, but not as much as that they'd like. They are compromising with their families, their husbands, or even, you know, there's men out there that are making these compromises and not giving as much time as they would love to their family, but obviously they're bringing in the wage.
Yeah, exactly. And they've got their own pressures going on for that. And, you know, the whole men thing is it's a very interesting angle, like the pressure on men, the social stigma, the machoism, the egos, you know, all of that. You know, I feel for them in a way, because at least women have each other to talk, whereas men find that difficult. Some men.
Yeah. So how did you get off this treadmill? Come on, that's what we want to hear. How did you get off this treadmill?
How did I do it? Well, I started the mindfulness course, then I did meditation. So I started all that. And then, so I was off work basically for 6 weeks. I read a life-changing book in that time. So for about 3 weeks, I pretty much couldn't do anything. I didn't have the energy. You know, it took some days to even, like, all my energy just to have a shower or make a coffee. So like after 3 weeks, I began to get a little bit more energy back, and even just like my attention, reading or watching TV, you know, reading things. It was really quite something. I do not wish it on my worst enemy. So I read a book that changed my life, which was The Firestarter Sessions by Danielle Laporte. And I read that. And then I also watched some Marie Forleo videos. And that kind of led me on a path. And it just led me on a path. And I got clear about what I wanted. Figured out what I didn't want in my life. I wasn't always certain about what I did want, but I knew I wanted freedom. Mm-hmm. And I knew I didn't want to work for anyone else. I'd never, you know, this is my 4th business. Like I tried to start, crazily looking back, I tried businesses while I was still working radio and events. Right, I thought that was going to work. I've no idea. However, I did it. But that's what I was so desperate to work for myself. I even did it when I was still employed. So I knew it would happen one day. So I started a process of that. I got a coach. I bought a self-study course, and I read, and I implemented what I was reading and uncovering, and I did it every day. And it was just a real, there was just so much momentum, right. So much traction. I almost couldn't keep up with it. Like, it was, some of the stuff that was happening was just almost magical, really, like movies. I was like, oh, this is freaky. Great, let's try it again.
A real transformational period then.
Massive. And it's been like that, really. So that was when so on that sofa, I started that. And I think I went back to work on a phased return for a month or 2, handed in my notice. So that was quite a big sign for me as well. So I'd been, you know, wearing masks, behavioural masks, and just playing the I'm fine game and just almost like leaving my soul at the door when I went into work, and I just sort of stepped into this, you know, role of project and event manager, as I had to do, as I was paid to do. But underneath and inside, I was, you know, I was sad, I was desperately unhappy, and I just wanted to work for myself and leave. And had I not gone through the process on that 6 weeks of uncovering layers of myself, I wouldn't have heard my intuition. And I was just looking at my computer one day, and I was just staring through a spreadsheet, like just lost in thought. And I just got up. I felt a massive surge in my gut, and that was just my intuition saying enough's enough, go. And I just walked to HR. Nothing was stopping me. And I just said, I sat down, I was in a 3-month notice period, and I just sat down and said, I'm off. Can we negotiate my notice period? And they did, and they were brilliant. And my employers have always been brilliant to me. You know, I tell my story in the most positive way. They were very caring. They were very understanding.
Yeah.
And, you know, yeah, they could see. They knew as well. Really.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, we've all been employed at some point. And obviously, you know, my background was nursing, and there's so many times, you know, within your team, you could see it coming. You could see one or the other. I mean, my turn came eventually. But
exactly.
you know, you see your colleagues, you can see them going through it, and it's just, and obviously you in the employment you were in, and myself within the NHS, it's safe income, it's regular income, it's always there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very hard to kind of go, enough's enough, I can't do this anymore. I'm not giving my 100%. It's not feeding my soul. It's
exactly. If anything, you're doing the complete opposite.
Yeah.
But and you want to reach out. You know, it's in our nature to help people, and you want to reach out and help them. But actually, really, you've got to help yourself. And until you do that and take that step, nothing's going to work. Nothing's going to happen. You can have all the dreams in the world, but until you take that step yourself and move forward, and it is a big step. It's a massive step. You know,
it's scary. There's a lot of fear there. I don't know about you, but it's fearful.
massive fear. And I was single as well, and I had a huge mortgage, so that was not easy to navigate at all. But I did it. You know, I got a lodger in, I figured out a way, and I moved forward, and I ploughed through it.
Yeah.
So you can always find a way. You'll always find a way. If you want it, you'll find it.
I think actually men can kind of take from this, because obviously you were single with a massive mortgage. I never had a mortgage, but I had a young daughter, and I was sole provider for her. So to kind of walk away from a steady income, everybody, my family included, were like, "What the hell are you doing?" And it was like, it's either that or this is going to kill me. Yeah, I just knew it. I didn't know, you know, what was going to happen and how the future was going to pan out, but you know, I knew that I had to make the break. And I think it is. I think sometimes people think for women it's easier, but there's a lot of women out there that are independent, and they have to support themselves, and they still do it.
Yeah, exactly. And responsibilities, you know, and I always say, actually, it's all right because it was just me. If I can, you know, I can go hungry. It doesn't matter if I skip a meal or whatever. When you've got somebody else to look after, that is not, you know, you can't do that. So big responsibilities, but you navigated through it as well.
Yeah.
Like, and you do find a way. You don't have all the answers to begin with, because it is a process of, you know, clearing beliefs and getting rid of the old and making way for the new. And as you get rid of more old, you know, more insights come out. So answers within come out.
And I don't know about you, but there were many nights where I kind of put Georgina to bed, and I'd sit there and I'd do that horror thing of looking at all the bills that had come through the door.
Not knowing how you're going to pay them straight away.
My hands in my head and think, what have I done? What on earth have I done?
Yeah, exactly.
Because your brain is telling you, you idiot, you know, what the hell have you done? But you know in your heart, that actually what you've done is the right thing. You haven't got a clue where it's taking you, but you know it's the right thing.
Yeah, and you have to trust that. And also, your daughter needed you as a mum. And if you were going to give your all to the job that was draining you, she isn't going to have you a full and healthy mum.
No.
And you know, and you can make those sacrifices because obviously you're the adult. But yeah, you can't. You have to be there as your role for that person.
So where is this path taking you now? Where are you now? What are you doing?
Where am I now? Oh God! Well, I'm living the life of the movies in my own movie. Well, it's so funny. I am. So when I left work, left the paycheck, I started my own events business and hit the ground running. Like I had clients within, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. I was gobsmacked. Yeah. So I hit the ground running, and obviously I had to be a bit careful because my energy was still, quite low. I couldn't do as much as I had always done for the last 13 years. So I did that, and I was running along, and I was at the point where I had about 6 active clients and active jobs on the go. And I went to a meeting about staffing and like government apprenticeships and, EU funding and all that kind of thing. And I came out of that meeting and I just thought, this isn't what I want to do. Again, I had that really strong feeling in my gut thinking, this isn't it. And I was like, oh God, but I've got, this is my company. I can't leave my own company.
Yeah.
So then I just realized, and again, I went back to, how do I want to live my life? What do I want to have in it? What don't I want to have in it? What's important to me? What type of person do I want to be? What do I want to do? And I always knew, so I suffer with asthma, and I always knew living in the UK in the winter was, really bad news for me. I was always off work with chest infections, and it was just, the damp always took a grip. So for health reasons, I wanted to live abroad 6 months of the year. And so I sort of retrained as a coach. I'd had a coach, and I'd had a life coach when I left work, and I had a business coach when I started my events company. So I benefited from coaching, and I actually really liked it. So I retrained as a coach and started my own coaching business. But that was tricky because I was trying to start it sort of in the background of my events company. So that was a tricky thing to navigate to start with. And actually I just thought, because I could see my events business, all I'd done was transferred the problem of not having a paycheck to myself. I was still doing the events work for as many clients, but I didn't have the paycheck coming in, and I had a business, so I had double the workload.
Right. Yeah.
So that was that kind of realization. And so I retrained as a coach, and I now live and I can live and work from anywhere. So I live in France half the time. I met somebody that I fell in love with, which was lovely, and I'd been single for probably about 5 years because I hadn't had time.
Wow.
I didn't really have the interest either, if I'm completely honest, but I also didn't have the time. And and funnily enough, when I went through a coaching thing, my coaching session, my coach said, what else do you want? What else do you want? And what kept coming up is like, I just want to find love. And I found love. But when the time was right, when I cleared out, when I made room for it, it came. So, and obviously now I've got my coaching business, and I probably work 4 days a week, but it's probably 6 to 8 hours a day. Like, it's not 10 to 12 hours a day. It's not 5 days a week. I'm not checking my phone at night when I'm on the sofa, all the things that I was doing. And I can say no to things, and I live my life as opposed to existing in it now. I think that's the difference for me. And I'm healthy and I'm well, and live life on your own terms. And that's how I want to live.
So what type of coaching is it you're actually doing? Because obviously there's a lot of different coaches out there. I mean, as you know, I do the EFT coaching. And I've my field has been with confidence mostly, getting especially with women, because I know you work a lot with women as well. how do you know,
Yeah.
what is your niche? What are you actually offering people?
My niche. So I call myself a freedom and success coach, and it's life coaching, and I help people escape their soul-sucking jobs basically and start a business and navigate that and kind of enlighten them, I guess, to the world of possibility, and that you can create and design your life you love. And well, it's a huge process, to be honest. I tend to work with clients for 3 months, but sometimes we extend. And because there's just a million and one limiting beliefs, and we all have limiting beliefs. I still have them now. Like, whatever level we're at and whatever level we reach, you're always uncovering more, and you're always having to work through them. And it's great, you know, but what a gift that we can do that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because I think a lot of people think, oh, I'll go and have a few sessions of one therapy or another, whichever kind of floats their boat, really, because they all work. It just, whether you choose the right one for you, for it to be as, you know, as effective as it possibly can. But yeah, the point is, once you start it, you don't stop. You keep doing it. It's a program of self-development for the rest of your life.
Absolutely, it is. It is. And one thing I would say on that is, I really struggled with meditation to start with, just because I'd been so busy and flat out all this time. I found it really hard to sit still. And so I persevered with that, and it wasn't every day, and it was, you know, 2 minutes, and then I'd build up from there to 5 minutes, and I was dipping in and out, not regularly, but I was checking in with myself daily, like either with writing or, you know, just checking in with how I felt that morning before I flew out of bed.
Yeah.
And even if it's just a simple thing as just taking 3 deep breaths and a smile and saying thank you before you get out of bed in the morning, like, it doesn't have to be a full-on thing when you start. I think you build up to things, and you try on different things, and you find what works for you.
Yeah. So
you need to keep energy, and, you know,
is part of your coaching, do you do that with your clients as well? You kind of, well, you know, any kind of, is part of your process that you actually take them through for, obviously, you know, stepping out of their kind of working environment, and then you know, going after their dream. Is that something that you add into your process, some of these kind of therapies and things?
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. Daily practice. I always say about the daily practice, but I do say try on different things, find what feels good. Yeah, I'm definitely an advocate for EFT, obviously, meditation, gratitude list, journaling. I mean, it all works, but it's what vibes with you, and also what fits, you know, with your schedule. You've got to be realistic about it, because I think we can overwhelm ourselves with too much to do, and then you think, oh God, I've got to do this, this, and this, and this, and you know it's for your greater good, but yet you feel it's too much to do all in the morning if you've got kids to get out of school or whatever, you know, whatever pressures you've got. So you have to find what works for you. If it's 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes midday, 10 minutes in the evening, and that's all you can fit in so far, great, do that for a week, and then we'll build on that. You know, I think there's a lot of pressure, or a lot of ideal kind of, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Yeah, in an ideal world, but life happens, and you've got to fit it in around life.
Yeah, I would be absolutely 100% with you with that. So what do you actually, what are you offering different?
What am I offering different?
Tell me why I should come and book with you.
Well, I can promise that you will have more energy, more time, more courage to say no. You'll have clarity, you'll find your purpose. We'll work on your mindset, your limiting beliefs. So all those comments that you come up with, oh, I can't do that, oh, I'm too busy, oh, I can't possibly manage it, I don't know how, all of that we'll work through. And obviously I'm different because it's me, I'm unique. You know, we don't all vibe with the same people. Like, you know, I'll vibe with some people and we'll get on great, and others we won't. So
yeah
you know, and I offer a half an hour free, you know, possibility call, and on that we explore working together. And it's as much as you know, it has to work for me as much as them, because if there's not a connection,
you can't do the work.
It's a disconnect, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and I can't, yeah, it's really. So yeah, I bring my own flavour to the mix. You know, I practice what I preach. I'm living the life that I talk about on my blog. You know, what you see is what you get. I don't pull any punch. You know, I do hold you accountable and call you out if you're saying the excuses, because believe me, I've said them all myself. You know, I've heard them all, I've said them all, and yeah, I get called out on them, and I want to do that as a coach for my clients. So
yeah. Now, I was reading through some of your literature, and you have something called a desire map. Can you tell me?
Yes.
I'm intrigued. I'm absolutely intrigued.
Yeah, okay. So the desire map, again, is Danielle Laporte. So she is somebody I follow. So the desire map is basically a guidance system and about setting and achieving goals from a place that feels good, basically. So and I've been to herself, and this is what changed my life around as well. So I read her first book, Fire Starter Sessions, then I read the desire map, and it was after the events company that things shifted for me, going through the desire map. So you discover basically 3 to 5 core desired feelings, and you live your life based on those feelings, and you set and achieve goals based on those feelings. So it's not about stuff, it's not about materialistic things, it's about how you feel. So for me, my 5 core desired feelings are freedom. I've got that. I'm sure I live a life of freedom every day. Being limitless. I feel like I'm limitless. I put myself out there, you know, in a vulnerable space.
Yeah.
Connection. I make sure I have connection in my life every day, either on, you know, with clients on screens or with friends and family. Joy. I need joy in my life. I have joy in my life. I'm very blessed. Haven't always had joy in my life, but I've been through the mud to get the joy in my life. And what's the 5th one? Love. Of course, love.
Oh, how lovely.
Love. And that's not just love from a partner, it's actually self-love. If anything, it's probably self-love first.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, so the desire map is there's 2 levels, and you go through obviously the first level first, and it's 6 weeks, and you basically go through a process of figuring out your core desired feelings. And the level 2 is about setting goals from that place, like what do you need to do to achieve those in your life.
Right.
So it's really powerful. I massively believe in it. I became a licensee this year, which means I'm a facilitator of the workshops, and I host them online at the moment. I'm hoping to run an in-person one next year.
Right, I'm kind of getting from that. I'm picking up from that, because obviously there's a lot of people that do goal setting and things. And the one thing that I've kind of been with the self-development work that I've been doing is it is a lot of goals and a lot of places that you go out there. You're setting goals for materialistic things, and you're actually being specific. Whereas if you actually study the law of attraction, you shouldn't actually be specific. You should excite yourself and feel the energy from the things that you want from life. But it's not being specific, because then you're limiting, you know, the universal ability for it to be provided for you. So that kind of desire mapping fits in fabulously with the teachings of the law of attraction.
It's incredible. It is incredible work, and I think, you know, it's okay to have, you know, if you're materialistic, you're materialistic, and if you want, you know, the £1 million house or whatever, as long as it makes you feel good and your core desired feelings, and it provides that facility for you to feel those feelings, then great. You know, I'm not knocking that, but I think it basically turns achieving goals on its like inside out, basically.
Well, you're coming from the point of the emotions rather than the actual possessions.
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
people want those possessions, what you're actually doing is teaching them to increase the emotions as to how they're going to be feeling, which then will also increase the potential of them receiving it much quicker. You know, using the law of attraction.
Yeah. Well, feeling good is the whole point, isn't it? Like, feeling good is the whole point. And if your vibration's up, your energy's up, you attract more, and
Perfect.
we know how this stuff works.
Right, well, you know, Amanda, absolutely brilliant, absolutely fascinating, really interested, and we'll have to have a private talk about the Desire Map a bit more, because I think that's something I'd like to do. But for the people out there listening to this, where can they get a hold of you?
Okay, so you can find me on www.amandakerin.uk, and that's Kerin, my surname. And so my coaching programs are online, and the Desire Map is online. My next virtual workshop starts on the 6th of November 2016. And that's level 1. Level 2 will probably happen January, February time. So, but yeah, reach out to me. I love receiving emails. I like connecting with people. If you want to book a free 30-minute call, do. And I'd love to chat. Let's create your dream life. What are you waiting for? I don't know why I waited so long.
Oh, no, that's lovely. That's absolutely. Thank you very, very much. I think you've been, you know, this video will definitely inspire a lot of people. For the viewers, I will actually post, put a link to Amanda's website, so you can actually get hold of her from that as well. But I'd just like to say thank you for your time. That's been great.
Thank you. Thank you very much as well.